Hello and welcome once again to my take. I'm Saddam Hussein. Well, President Donald Trump in the news once again for all wrong reasons. Well, a few hours back he claimed that the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, has promised him that India is going to stop importing crude oil and gas from Russia. He rather asserted, he said that Indian Prime Minister owed him that India is going to stop or importing any crude oil from Russia. Well, we already are aware that India is importing crude oil from Russia because of no political reasons, no other absolute political reasons. It's purely because of economic reasons, keeping in mind the consumer's interest in India. Just because India is getting oil at cheaper prices, it's very economical for India to import crude oil and gas from Russia. India is importing from Russia rather than importing from many other countries. Same with China. China is one of the largest importers of Russian crude oil. Well, we already seen in earlier videos that, Trump believed, and even in the UN Assembly, he said, India and China are responsible for the war between Russia and Ukraine. Russia is exporting oil to India and China, and the funds, the money which Russia is getting, they're using it to wage a war or to intensify a war with Ukraine. Well, that all we are quite aware of this. Because of this, it really angered Donald Trump. He was very furious. He was very angry with this, and we already familiar with this. He imposed 100% tariff on Indian exports to the United States. That is 25% is the tariff and the remaining 25% as punitive taxes or the sanctions he put on Indian exports to the United States. That means 100%, 50% punitive taxes and the 50% as the tariffs. So that comes out to be 100%. Well, we are quite familiar with this. What happened a few hours back? Trump claimed that the Prime Minister Modi has promised him that India will stop buying any oil from Russia. Well, that came as a surprise to all Indians because there was no mention of this in Indian media or anywhere. No official statement has been issued by the Indian government or External Affairs Ministry, Commerce Ministry or any other ministry. Well, Trump is the only one who claimed it that the Prime Minister Modi has promised him or vowed him to stop buying oil from Russia. Well, just an hour back, the statement has come from the Ministry of External Affairs. The official spokesperson, Randhir Jaiswal, has issued a statement stating that India has consistently been importing Russian oil. Well, because of not any political reasons, it's like I said, it's only economic reasons, keeping in mind the consumer's interest in this volatile situation of oil in the world. Well, nothing else. That's what they said. And nowhere he mentioned that the Prime Minister of India promised Donald Trump that India will stop importing oil from Russia. It was not mentioned anywhere in the statement. He clearly mentioned purely the interest of the consumers in the country. That is the only reason behind importing oil from Russia. Nothing else, absolutely. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar also articulated the same thing. What the spokesperson said, Dr. Jaishankar said that there was no other reason. Absolutely, there is just one reason for importing oil from Russia, that is keeping in mind the interest of the Indian citizens, because the government wanted to provide the cheapest oil possible to Indian consumers, to Indians. And also he pointed out, the External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar wanted to show to the world the double standards adopted by the West. He also said that they should come out of this mindset. He said that the Europe's problems are the problems of the world, but the world's problems are not the problems of the Europe. That's what he said. Well, it's clear now that, to what extent some big world leaders to what extent can they lie, can go to the extent of saying that some prime ministers have agreed to them. Well, we couldn't make out the reason behind it. Was it an ego problem, or was it anything else behind it? Well, India still is going to import oil from Russia. It's not going to stop importing oil from Russia just because of the statement made by the President of the United States in the interest of the Indian consumers. So that's all we have time for this video. Till we meet next time is goodbye. Don't forget to subscribe, share and like our videos. Bye bye guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time and trust. Bye.